Mhm.
Yeah, no. All right, that's good. Okay. Calling to order the Fraser Park Public Utility District meeting, what do you call this? Public hearing on the proposed submission of delinquent accounts for collection through the Kern County tax roll. We're starting this meeting at 4:01. Can everybody stand up to do the? Okay, ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the States of and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Here.
Director Schoenberg, Director Kelling,
Here.
and Gibson is here. Explanation of proposed assessment.
So these are accounts that have been delinquent for 6 months or more and are proposed to be turned over to Kern County for collection through property taxes.
Okay. Presentation of the list of affected parcels and the amount of the delinquent fees and charges thereon.
Do you have a list? The first page in your board packet is the list of ATMs and the amounts for the past due accounts.
It's not so many,
I have
right?
not totaled it because people have actually been paying a little bit as it's been coming out. So I'll have the final total when I actually submit it.
On this list, there's only 9.
Yeah.
So open hearing for public participation. Is there any member of the public present or online who wants to comment? Okay, discussion vote on submitting the delinquent accounts for collection through the Kern County tax roll.
Well, you gotta close participation.
Huh?
You gotta close.
Oh,
number
I'm
5.
sorry. Thank you for, we're going to close the public participation portion of the hearing and on to discussion vote on submitting the delinquent accounts for collection through the Kern County tax roll.
I'll make a motion that we submit the delinquent accounts for collection to the Kern County tax roll.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion's been made by Director Nyman and seconded by Director Garcia. Roll call of directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg, Director Kelling. Aye. Gibson, aye, 5-0-0. We can adjourn this meeting.
I make a motion that we adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion.
Okay, a motion's been made to adjourn the meeting by Director Nyman, seconded by Director Garcia at 4:04. Roll call of directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Kelling. Aye. 5-0-0, meeting is adjourned.
Boy, that was hard.
I left my agenda, it fell out of it's at home.
It's after that yellow page.
Huh?
It's after that first yellow page.
Turn it off.
No,
The
no,
tab.
the tab.
The tab.
The
Turn the
no,
tab.
The empty tab.
Oh, the empty tab? Okay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Well, hello, folks, here I am.
Welcome, Becky.
Thank you. Okay, Fraser Park Public Utility District, the regular state planning and project meeting for agenda for Thursday, June 22nd, 2023. We are starting at 4:05. Call to order. Do we have to do the
No.
pledge this way? And we don't have to do roll call?
I would roll call
Do
again.
roll call.
Okay, roll call of directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Here.
Director Kelling,
Here.
Gibson here.
Well, you're
So
the
now, discussion vote on adjust the agenda if necessary.
president.
I don't have any-
Do we need to do the closed sessions?
No, I don't think so. Did you?
Well, that's
what do you-
not until 6,
I don't
7.
think we do.
Alpha's we need to.
Unless you want to ask Steve.
We're in public comments right now.
No,
we're in the agenda,
We're adjusting.
Okay, good.
so that's why I was just wondering if we needed
Hey,
to,
Dee,
it's there.
Oh.
Guess we could do it when we
Dee?
get there.
Did he just stay for the first meeting?
No,
No,
he
he's
actually
still-
left before that.
he's here, he's just.
Well, he's there, but he's just, but I
He
don't.
probably went.
I would say that we need to just check with him to make sure that he doesn't need to tell us something.
Well, can we,
Oh, but we can't do the closed session without the attorney here, correct?
No, you
No,
can
we
do it, yeah, you can.
Okay.
I think we should just go ahead and do the closed session,
To talk about
just talk
what's going
about what's
Okay.
going on.
Okay.
So,
I don't see,
yeah, let's,
then I don't think we'll adjust it.
And it can remain where it is, right?
yeah, then everything can remain the way it is.
Okay, on to 3,
Okay,
public comment.
so that's it, no more adjustments?
Nope,
Okay, public comments, items not listed on agenda, limited to 5 minutes. Thank you. Are there any public comments? There are none. 4, standing committee reports, accounts payable committee.
We met, we went through the invoices and, we'll talk about everything in the financials.
Great. State update meeting committee.
We met, we had a meeting before the state update meeting of the ad hoc for the project committee, to discuss. Was supposed to be timeline, but we actually ended up discussing a lot about the budget of the consolidation project, of the, planning part of the consolidation project. And then we attended the state update meeting after that. And, talked to, Lawrence about a couple of things. The biggest thing is that we're concerned about the date of,
I think
when we're gonna be complete. I guess we can bring all
we
that.
can all bring it, because we've all coming.
Okay.
I think.
Okay, quarterly financial committee.
You have it, minute. Did you
No,
guys-
we haven't, I
Yeah.
think we're meeting at the beginning of July.
Yeah,
5, ad hoc committee reports, project committee. Oh, I just did that, didn't I?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't.
you did not.
Ad hoc committee
Oh.
reports,
it's ad hoc.
project committee.
That was my bad. So we met before the state meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, financial committee.
I came in twice. With our bookkeeper, Deborah, and Director Gibson was absent, not feeling well, so she wasn't there. We got about a third of the way maybe through the audit material for last year, the 21-22. So we did get through some big sections, the biggest one being that it took us forever last year was the distribution in expenses and also director's fees and expenses. And also there were some, we already found a few items that needed to go from assets or from expenses to assets. And so that's where we're at. We went through all of the income. The income's done and about, I guess, like a third through the expenses. And then we have another meeting scheduled for next week. I think it's the
Thursday and Friday, right?
no.
No, it's Monday and Tuesday.
Monday and Tuesday, yeah. So just for the dates, the 26th at 9:30 to 12:30. And the 27th, the same thing, 9:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me write this down, okay, guys? The 9:30 to what?
Could you-
9:30 to 12:30
get
on the
the,
26th and
the checks
27th.
that have to be signed and stuff,
Yeah, could I peek at them?
Okay,
there's only a couple.
okay, guys. Generator pad construction committee.
We have
No.
nothing.
No.
We haven't done financials.
No,
What? No, we're
the
still-
generator
We'll figure.
construction committee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's,
Thank you.
that's you.
Oh, You've been kicking back at your pad? Is that what you've been doing?
No, we have, not been notified by Johnny,
I'm sorry.
notified by Johnny that we have any information yet, plans or specs, so. We've not met with him.
Okay, discussion vote on accounts payable and financial information. Deborah?
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Deborah.
Okay, so we issued 6 checks out of the meter well account for a total of $329,008.10. The extraordinary disbursement was a payment to the bridge loan for $324,956.18.
And just for a second, Deborah, and then you can go on.
Okay,
With that bridge loan, the state had disallowed off of claim 12. They had disallowed $6,750 off that pay or repayment of the sub, that when we paid the payment to Unify. So the district has to eat $6,750. So I transferred from the revenue operating fund into the meter well replacement to cover the total amount of the repayment of the bridge loan.
Okay,
Mama, I believe the amount of the bridge loan was $327,931.10, if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're mistaken. That's not what we.
Oh, you're
Okay,
right.
Oscar.
I'm wrong. Sorry about that.
Okay, you're confusing me. I lied.
must be contagious.
Never going to finish going through it.
Yeah,
That was just out of the meter well.
yeah. Okay, Deborah, you can continue. Sorry for interrupting.
no, that's fine. Okay, and then we issued 2 checks out of the planning account for a total of $9,618.33. And the extraordinary disbursement was payment on claim 28 to D Jasper for $6,956.25. And then out of the revenue operating account, we issued 13 checks for a total of $13,313.66. And let's see, where am I? Our extraordinary disbursement was to Griswold for $5,777.93. And I believe that's it.
Okay, and I'll say also, we had received in, because we're making these payments that was out of the Lake of the Woods planning account, we received claim 28, and that's why we're making these payments. I made a transfer from the planning account to our revenue operating account, $683.32. That was board fees. And I also made a transfer from the Lake of the Woods planning account to the revenue operating account in the amount of $88.12. And that was staff recovery claim. So, so with that, okay.
Okay, so we paid for the board meeting on this is 7/11/2019.
Yep.
Okay, but it's for USDA and conference calls. Does that mean it's a board meeting that he's charging for? Or is this actually on top of the board meeting?
It says conference call. I have to go back and
It
check.
says USDA and conference call. It doesn't say board meeting. because it was charged to our,
Right, are
Revenue
you saying it was
operating.
classified as a,
uh-huh.
okay, that I.
So can we just like make a note to self and, I mean, we can say it, but just to see if that should be a claim? And then there was one I was just looking at quickly, so you can go ahead and I'll just, bug you if it's a.
Oh, okay, I'll make a motion, that we pay our bill.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made by Director Nyman and seconded by Director Garcia. Roll call directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Yes, I.
Kelly. So are you abstaining?
No, she said aye.
Oh, okay, sorry, didn't hear it. Okay, so motion passed 5-0.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, so are we done with Deborah?
Deborah, thank you.
Good night.
Thank
Thank-
you, Deborah.
Thank you. Everybody have a good evening.
Good
You
night.
too? Okay, are we gonna do the closed session?
Yes.
Okay. Closed session, so what, we need to excuse people first, or we need to make the announcement?
First.
Okay, closed session pursuant to Government Code 54957, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, property 255320-28. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Raman Damon D. Jasper, negotiating parties Veronica Alcarez and Carlos Sosido, under negotiation price and terms of payment.
And you gotta do number 8 too.
Number 8, okay. Pursuant to Government Code 549-557, conference with real property negotiators, Government Code 54956.8, property 256070-54, 256-070-55. Agency negotiators Lisa Schoenberg, Rama Damon, D. Jasper, negotiating parties Jeff French and Emily Wainwright, under negotiation, price and terms of payment. So now we're going into a closed session
Yes, good time.
at 4:18.
We'll be back, Pam, Carlos, and Oscar.
I have to excuse you guys for a while.
So long. Gary.
Won't be that long.
It's been nice.
The only three-party one was, self-help.
I was voting, but I was present.
And I followed you. And followed your lead. Clown.
Okay, I had to leave the breakout room and close it out, so if you wanna,
Okay, well, Lisa wants us to wait till she gets her charger.
okay.
I think we-
You can start.
Yeah,
Don't forget. to
Okay,
write the
we're
time.
coming out of the closed session at 4:36. No action taken, no changes made.
Yes.
Okay, so number 9, discussion vote update on Fraser Park Lake of the Woods Consolidation Planning Project. A, discussion vote review of the project timeline.
Okay, oh, I should get that.
we get something.
Yeah. There should be in the back, I think in the back there's a. Oh, never mind, I got it right here. Apologize, I have it right here. Okay. So, so we went over, I'll just go through this if Dee doesn't mind me taking the lead on this.
No, please do.
We went over, the project timeline. And you all don't have a copy in here. So basically, we just updated everything, as to what was complete. We, on the MSR, we moved the date out to August 2023. Of course, the sphere of influence map is complete. To apply to LAFCO, we put out till September 2023. And then, under task number 2, the draft source water assessment was put out to September 2023. The engineering report, there's a draft engineering report, that's July 2023. That's the PER.
That's that 600
That's that
page
600
document,
page
but it needs some additional.
Right, so, and then the final engineering report with detailed cost breakdown, is July 2023, so that'll be, next month. Then for environmental documents, that stayed the same. The only thing that we do not have a date yet, is on for final plans, specifications with detailed cost breakdown and construction application. So that has, we're D's in the process of, trying to do an extension. We don't know what date. We're kind of trying to keep to this date, but we're trying not to go out because originally D had put it out a year. And so the problem is that this particular contract is done June 30th of 2024. And
Well,
the
it's
final,
in December, but we have to submit by
Well,
June in order to get paid.
yeah, you have to submit everything by June. The final disbursement date is December 31st, 2024. So, so he's gonna work on getting an extension. We also, there was some questions about the budget, so therefore he has to look at if there's any more budgets because, and I guess we'll get to the budget after that, but that's basically the timeline. You have something
And
to
that
add?
environmental, even though we didn't change the dates, might be an issue because it's gonna take potentially a long time. We may make it or we may not, so, because we probably do have to do, because depending on where the funding comes from, right now, if we finish up in time, the funding could still potentially come from the funding that was agreed to us, but if it keeps pushing out, that funding may dry up, and then we may have to have all the cultural all the extra stuff that we wouldn't normally have to do if, because all that land's been touched. So normally we'd be able to just do the like notice of exemption, but we may not be able to do that. We may have to do all the biological, cultural stuff, right, Dee?
Well, and that comes from the funding source of if it's done by federal, I think you have to have the biological, what they were saying.
Right, but right now it's done by state, but
Right.
we may want to do that anyway, and if we do it, it's gonna push us forward potentially on those dates too, but we left them the same for now, just to, because hopefully we get done by then, but we don't.
Okay.
Okay,
B,
B, discussion vote on the budget adjustment request.
Okay, there's
It's
a
in-
letter. There's a letter, in here. And I guess I'll just go for it. We had the discussion when we were in the discussion, Dee was saying that, in order, if we do like the biological, we have to do the biological, but the actual cost, without the biological, the cost would be around $80,000. And with the biological, then it would be around $100,000. So we asked Lawrence, since the budget for the environmental documents was $59,000, we asked to take $40,327,000 from contingency and move that into the environmental documents so that we know where we stand as far as our budget is concerned, so that we're ahead of the game and we don't end up. I don't know how we're gonna end up in the end with everything, but at this point, it's better to have things where they're supposed to be. So, yeah, so that's basically the letter that we send to Lawrence, and he approved for us to do that, so.
And there was, you want to bring up the other budget stuff? Even though we haven't read that letter?
Yeah, can we approve this first and then we can? Yeah. Okay, so I'd like to make a motion, that we approve this, budget adjustment, letter, moving, $40,327,000 from contingency to, environmental documents.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made by Director Nyman, seconded by Director Garcia. Roll call directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Kelling. Aye. Gibson, aye, 500. Is there more to this particular
Yes,
item?
So
now.
the other thing that.
I'll let you.
Okay, the other thing that happened is that we, okay, it's kind of was a mistake, I think initially, when Dave, when self-help was putting this together. That there were two areas where the preliminary engineering report money. Could be dispersed from, two different line areas. One was from the test wells. And we needed PER stuff for the test wells, but we finished that like a while ago. And so we had said, stop charging the test well line item and just charge it, but it was still under test wells, charge it to the PER. Well, we ran out of PER or have very little PER money left, and we had already extended it once last month. But we found out that, and that was all of our mistakes that there's something called the project engineering report, and it's really also the PER, but it's a whole different task. It's on task four or three instead of two. So there's all these different tasks and they have to line up with, when we put in the money to get reimbursement from the state, they have to line up. But for whatever reason, it went in as its own thing under task 3 instead of task 2. Well, actually that would have been fine, but that should have been another PER or it should have been the PER or it should have. Anyway, it didn't make sense. We've realized that $30,000 is actually additional pool of money that we can pull from for the PER. So we don't have to ask for more money in the PER, but we did have to ask D to make sure that now when he writes his stuff we've pretty much gone through all of the money in the PER other than $200 And then when D starts charging the stuff for like the well 9 and the well 8 stuff, like all these drafts and the topographical map and all that stuff mapping, then that goes under this new item, which is actually called PDR or project design. Just not a normal term, like even Lawrence was like, oh, I don't know, you know, where that came from, but it was just,
Yeah, it's $36,605.
yeah,
Got
and
its
then
own funds.
it's got its own fund, which is also really a PER. So in order to, because, and then we found out that like I was thinking that was an end report, and I was like, why do we have to pay $30,000 for an ending report? But the ending report is just really a 1-page report. What it is for all of that document to keep getting fixed as it goes back and forth to the state, and then that eventually becomes the final document as well. So it's kind of the money to do the back and forth stuff.
Now, I had I was a little concerned about Lawrence's email,
Which one?
because he's
Oh, I'm charging my phone.
he sent us, and Dee made you made a lengthy reply to him.
You're saying a new one or the one that you said before?
Okay,
Couple days ago?
no, he,
After our conversation yesterday?
okay. He says, I'm discussing this with Carlos, but I wanted to make the team aware of my concerns that we discussed on the monthly call today regarding the engineering report, task 3 of the agreement. The engineering report needs to meet the requirement of the DWSRF policy, specifically technical package. And then he says the budget for task 3 is $36,605. So far, the following PER costs have been submitted to the state, $42,039. Carlos tells me claim 31 will incorporate additional costs. I'm concerned that we're going over budget for the report and schedule on the project in general. From reviewing the engineering report, it seems to be mostly a repeating reference of past reports, which on a minor level is appropriate. However, the report did not contain the technical outline or justification of the consolidation project, which is the purpose of the agreement, nor did it follow the technical package requirement per the agreement. I'm asking Fraser Park and DGA to comply with these requirements and let me know if the issues prohibiting doing so under the existing budget in the agreement. And then, let's see.
So I thought we talked about D that we have enough money under that 30,000, 36, whatever it is, to both do the extra stuff that Lawrence was talking about in order for him to be able to talk about moving forward on the wells. And then, and also just the extra sort of initial ideas about pipe size and all that stuff that he wanted for the projects pre the design. So, and then we should still have enough, I think you had said, to be able to do that 1-page final report, right? So I think maybe we just need to assure him that that pot is not going to go, that we did go over the 40,000, but that 36,000 covers the rest of the, should cover the rest of the back and forth. Is that correct? We have about how much time do you think it's going to take to do the extra stuff he was saying that you hadn't done, like the kind of idea of where everything goes, which you had worked, you have some initial stuff from the way early on, but just not, it's not in writing, right? It's in a map.
Yeah, all of that's correct, Lisa. And yeah, we have plenty of budget left to do it. We did one of these for the project up in Weldon a few years ago. And I know exactly what we need to do in order to follow you know, the drinking water standards. And so the budget's plenty good. We have some work to do, that's for sure. And I knew that going in. So we're good. The amount of
Yeah.
time that it will take, I'm guessing, you know, about a month, I think that, you know, we should be able to wrap it. I'll do it faster if we can, but there are some alternatives we have to look at. We got to price them, we got to do an analysis. And so we'll do all of that, and we've done that before, so it's nothing new. And then, you know.
But
put
can
the
you-
report together.
Can you write him something assuring that,
Well, he did write,
oh, I didn't see
well-
the answer.
and then, well, he wrote another one saying that he was aware of the deep drinking water standards. It was actually a pretty lengthy email.
And all of that D is not going into the design, right? So just in that 36 left, we have enough.
Yeah, I'm just,
Okay.
my only concern is I'm hoping, because he just mentioned it, that maybe he wasn't totally okay with this 36 and we're putting the money, you know? So I guess we'll find out when we do claim 31.
Yeah,
Well, let
I
me,
think
let me give you a little bit of context of what we spoke yesterday. I sent them,
Okay.
I sent them a revised, Form 260, asking them to move I believe was like 19,000 something or 20,000 into the PER. And
Right,
he seemed to be confused, I guess, from yesterday's meeting. He was thinking that we were just gonna eliminate that line item and not charge to it. And I told him, no, well, there's a budget associated with that line item. And I go, we've already spent most of it, so we have to charge to that. So then that's when he sent that email to you guys. So I'm hoping that he's gonna process, because he didn't write back to me after that, but I'm hoping that he's gonna process claim 29 and 30 and charge that to the PER. Because if not, then
Yeah, he probably didn't understand what we were talking about yesterday. It sounds like he totally did not understand what we were talking about.
yeah, that's exactly what it was. So I
Because when
explained
we
it to
were
him.
going back and forth,
Yeah, I explained it
Yeah.
to him in a few emails, and I told him the PER task is literally in the test well drilling thing, but it has its own budget. And then the PDR, because he was confused, he was thinking it was just the engineering report. I go, no, the PDR is what the engineering report is on your form. So hopefully, like I said, I think he's gonna do it, but so hopefully he does, because then when I submit claim 31, then we'll see what they say. But
then we'll end up having some discussions, maybe more.
okay.
Hopefully not, but just, you know, because that line item was called project design report. But D is not making another report, so there's a budget there, and that budget is
It's really the other portion of the PER that got
Right.
stuck in the wrong place with the wrong name,
and so then
or in the right place.
and we're
with the-
charging his preliminary design for well 8 and 9. Ultimately, it could have been to his design budget, but it's still preliminary. And it may end up being, because once he does the preliminary, it may end up being changed, it may not, and it may be fine, but so this is what monies we have left, and so.
It was just super confusing because we were all confused because that term did not come from the state. It came from who knows where.
we never heard it before.
Yeah, so it was
Yeah.
just.
it's as far as like I'm concerned, I've always known that PDR and PER are interchangeable. They're pretty much one and the same. It's just that they called it project instead of preliminary design report. But like I said, we're here now, so hopefully that they let us charge that, and we'll be okay.
We'll make it work.
Yeah, so- Yeah, we'll make it work, but yeah, so it just, you know. Okay, so I think we can
Move
move,
on to the next.
yes,
Okay, C, discussion vote on the project technical memo.
There's nothing there, right, Dee? Because you sent Lawrence what he needed thus far.
Correct.
I mean, do we need to vote on that 600-page document? Not yet, because it's still going back and forth, right?
right, well,
Right.
and part of that document's the MSR, which Bravish is working on.
Right,
And so Bravish should have it
but
done,
it's broken up.
Bravish should have his done by the end of June. Probably, but he said more likely the first or second week of July. And so we're looking at, you
Well,
know,
this is just the project
Month.
technical memo, not the
Yeah.
MSR.
so, but the MSR is part of that, but we haven't, and he hasn't received any, comments back from the state yet. As far as the other technical part of that 600.
I think actually he did. You received some stuff.
Well, he received a couple, didn't you? Dee?
Lawrence
Yeah.
said quite a bit, but we just don't have any of the comments from Bravish, right?
Right. Nothing from Ravish. He's moving through it. And, you know, he's targeted the end of the month. And he said he would contact us. I think Tiffany, you sent some information to him yesterday or the day before, I believe.
Yeah,
So he's moving on through it. And then, you know, if he has any questions or, you know, any requests for information, we'll get it for him.
Okay,
Excellent.
so move,
Moving
hello?
right along.
Oh, sorry. That was very rude. Okay. D, discussion vote on the acquisition and development of the well 8 property.
They're
Nothing
working
on
on
it.
nothing. Working on it.
Working on it.
And
Discussion vote on the acquisition and development of the well 9 property, same.
working on it
Same thing.
in negotiation.
Discussion vote update on the district sphere of influence map for
Uh,
the annexation.
it's submitted and tabled.
Awesome. Discussion vote on project.
D, can you
Municipal
send me a
service.
copy? Can you send me a copy of that map, please?
What is it you want, Carlos?
The map,
Yeah,
that the sphere of influence map?
Oh, yeah, somebody did. Yes, I'll get it. Certainly, I'll get it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Go ahead.
Mhm.
Okay, so now we can move on to G. Discussion vote on project municipal service review, quote, draft MSR, data collection and scope of work in LAFCO.
That-
Still,
Yeah, that's just all pending still.
okay.
I mean, Bravish is working on the MSR.
H, discussion vote on the memorandum of understanding
That's
table.
still table, yeah.
Discussion vote on Lake of the Woods.
Although we did bring up during the state update meeting that we need to maybe start talking about some of that stuff earlier because Dee actually brought that up, that maybe we need to start having a little bit of meetings with Lake of the Woods to try to kind of see where we're at on that before, you know, not wait all the way till the end, but just kind of so that we're talking things through as we go. So that'll make it easier when we get there.
So maybe when it comes on the next agenda, we could, or do you want to set up, you want to put it on the agenda now?
July agenda, the July 2nd meeting agenda, you already told me to put the MOU in it.
Yeah, so we have it.
Carlos, did you have a comment?
Yeah, just to let you guys know that like I'm working on another project that's in consolidation right now. And they've already gotten their funding agreement, but the memorandum of understanding is not executed yet. So they cannot send that project out to bid until that memorandum of understanding is executed. So you guys still got time. Like I said, they don't need it until once you get the funding agreement, because without the memo in place, then you can't move the project forward after that.
Right, okay.
Okay. Discussion vote on the Lake of the Woods projects in consolidation.
Pam, that's you.
Hey, Pam.
Hey, guys, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Okay, good. So most of what I'm gonna say is repetitive from yesterday. Sorry to those who joined me yesterday. So our $2.5 million grant is currently in place and active since the 12th. So we're potholing, couple of changes are happening on Fraser Mountain Park Road. We thought we could bore, we're gonna have to trench. The ground is just collapsing under the boring, so that's not gonna happen. Generator grant, we're still fielding questions back and forth with Lawrence. So that hasn't happened yet, and we're still working on designs for the 5 million. And then we come to the blending station. So all of you know that Lake of the Woods is now in nitrate violation. We are running all of our wells. Every single well has high nitrates. When I say that, that's between 9.6 to like 12. So yesterday's blending was coming out at 10.4. So technically that's still at 10 MCLs because they round down. But you know, for the safety of everyone, we never know when it's going to exceed that. So we're in violation. So I apologize if you got calls and dealt with all of that. Do you have questions?
Sam, oh, go ahead, Dee. Go ahead, Dee.
Pam, how much has your water come up now from the first part of the year?
So we're anywhere between 18 and 32 feet,
Wow.
depending on the well. Yeah, Eric should have me the new updated well levels tomorrow, and I'll send you over all of our everything, because our nitrate levels and everything have been updated. We just got a notice tonight about an hour ago that our nitrates are at 4 or 10.4 for Tuesday samples. So weekly we're sampling iron. So well number 4 is pumped to waste. It's not going in the system because we're still seeing iron and manganese. We did do a chlorination flush this week, so we'll see if it comes down. So that one obviously we can't use. Any other questions, guys? I know we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I might have a dumb question, but on this 3.5 million that you're doing, you said that they're having to trench instead of bore. What is they're trenching to put in new pipe, or they're checking to see what's in the ground? What does boring mean?
So boring would normally just go under the road with like a drill to go straight across and then slide in the casing. Now we're going to have to trench, which means dig up across the road.
Okay.
So
right. Okay.
Because it was collapsing, they were fear that any major heavy duty trucks going across would just collapse the road. So county was out with them yesterday, I think, or was it today? One of the days. Anyways, county was there, contractors, engineers, and Eric, and they were all figuring out the best solution, and county's totally fine with it. So we're trenching.
Okay.
It's more expensive.
Yeah, but it's more expensive.
Yeah.
It's, you know what,
Okay.
it's a little bit actually, from what I understand, it's going to be cheaper to do trenching than boring, but then we also are going to have to increase the cost for traffic control because we're going to have to go around that area. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to work out in the end. We are definitely going to have change orders, but you know, such is life when you're in construction.
Right. Well, that goes along with the territory.
Right.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Guys.
Discussion vote, oh no, we did this one, okay. Discussion vote on claim 31 and other claim payouts.
That's you, Carlos.
Okay, so for claim 31, we had board of directors fees in the amount of $616.66. I didn't get any invoices from Young and Woolridge, so that's 0. We got staff recovery cost at $91. And then we have consolidation engineering. Hang on a second. Okay, so we got consolidation engineering invoice number 23-00514 in the amount of $1,844.50. And we have invoice number 23-00514, there was a portion of that that we charged to preliminary engineering report in the amount of $542.50. There was a couple other charges that were gonna get charged to that, but we couldn't charge it to that because we didn't have enough funds. So we ended up
So
charging,
just so you know, Carlos, we still have the old invoice. You may just want to say what's changed because if they're looking at them, they say
okay,
the wrong thing.
okay, I didn't know if Tiffany had made copies for you guys already or not. Okay, so basically, we were only gonna charge, like I said, we're only gonna charge $542.50 to preliminary engineering report because we didn't have enough funding, but then we came to the conclusion yesterday that we were gonna charge the rest to preliminary design report, which is better known as engineering report in the Form 260 in task 3. So we're gonna put that in there, and that's in the amount of $2,387, and that amount was also in that invoice 23-00514. And then we had another invoice from D. Jasper and Associates that we're charging to PDR as well, and it's invoice 23-00514A in the amount of $2,927.75. So that brings the old invoice without the corrections was 6,000 something. I can't remember the exact amount, but this new invoice total is $8,409.41.
And where it says engineering design on your invoice 514A, it's actually project design.
So what's the total claim is what?
It's $8,409.41.
8,409.
And I'm gonna make an adjustment on this form to where it says project design report. I'm gonna put project, or I'm gonna put it probably as PDR/engineering report, because in task 3 of Form 260, it has it as engineering report.
But maybe put the 3 things, so if Lawrence is having trouble following, maybe it can say PER/PDR/engineering report or something, because it says something else on our stuff.
Okay, I could do that, but we still have that preliminary engineering report right above that, so I don't know if that's gonna confuse people. Although we've expended that one, we only have like $200 left in that budget. But I can put whatever you guys want. If you guys want me to put all 3, I'll put all 3.
Just put PER and then what was the engineering report?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay.
Whatever you said you were, so.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll just put PDR/engineering report, so we know that that's what that is.
And hey, Tiff, could you print me?
But he's gonna know where that comes from because of the way you write it. Like, they're gonna know that that's task 3 and not task 2.
Yeah, well, he really doesn't focus on this form. He usually focuses on the Form 260. So in the Form 260, it'll be in task 3, engineering report.
So the Form 260 actually just says engineering report for that 36,000.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, all right, so, I'll make a motion that we approve submitting claim 31 in the amounts discussed by Carlos Bravo.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion has been made by Director Nyman, seconded by Director.
In the
Garcia.
amount of $8,409 and how many cents, Carlos?
$8,409.41.
41, okay,
So you just friendly amended yourself?
there.
Okay,
Very
roll call of directors.
Yes.
Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg, Director Kelly.
Aye.
Director Gibson, aye, 500. Discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project.
Sorry, before we move on, I got a quick question.
Sure.
I know that we're gonna be trying to break out well 8 and well 9 out of the consolidation project, right?
Just well, 8.
Okay, just well 8. So from here on out, I guess we need to ask Lawrence is this gonna be is work on that gonna be part of the consolidation? Or is it
He
gonna?
said up the point, he said that we continue to charge to this up to the point where we actually, how did he put it? Where it's actually, obviously acquisition of the property isn't included, but anything prior to that and anything that's not, as long as it's not, having to do with acquisition of the or it can do with acquisition of the property, he said, like initial talks with the attorney. But if it goes, if it's either in negotiation or some sort of settlement that we need to do, then that would not be included. But
Yeah,
up until that point.
I understand that part, but what I'm talking about is like, working up to getting the construction funding for this breakout of well 8. I'm assuming that, I hope it's covered under consolidation, but I don't know if it would be. So that's
what I think
we'll talk
he
to Lauren.
said. That's what I understood that he said. The only part that wouldn't be covered is once we're actually breaking it out, like once it's, like all the initial stuff, he said it would be covered. Because
Okay,
I was really concerned with that. I specifically asked that question.
okay,
So
perfect.
unless I didn't ask it in a correct way, I believe he said we were okay until the point where we have acquisition and it is now not part of the project. Does that make sense? I would have to go back and listen to I think that was on the last meeting when I asked that,
Okay, got it.
on the last state update meeting.
Okay,
Not this one, the one before that.
can we move on now? Are you clear on that?
Yes, let's move on.
Okay, number 10, discussion vote update on FPPUD meter replacement project and emergency well supply project. Is that D?
Keep going.
Yep.
Keep going.
Okay.
Oh, that's.
Oh,
the-
yeah, A,
Oh,
discussion vote update on wells, Devon.
Curtis sent me an email yesterday, and he said Unified Field Services has reduced their cost a little bit down to from 128, I think it was 130 some odd thousand, down to 113,000, reduced at about 16,000. He's still trying to get the backup for their numbers from their subcontractors. As soon as we get that backup information that proves this stuff up, then we need to sit down and have a discussion, I think internally, and then a discussion with the state board for sure, regarding, how to wrap this thing up. So that's where we are right now. And so they've reduced it a bit under some pressure that Curtis put on them. And, but now they've got to prove up the subcontractor's expenses. So,
right.
well, that's where we are.
So other than this 113,000, we've paid Unified everything. Have we paid Unified everything, up to date? That would be the last payment that we would have to make to them.
Yes.
Does it
Okay,
include the retention?
and did we keep a retention?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we did. We've kept retention all along, and they weren't all the way through the project, so there's funds left. I don't know how much, but they didn't get to the well equipping part of it or anything, but they did, they did order some equipment that we're gonna own, and we'll have to pay for that. But other than that, yeah, there's definitely a retention.
Okay, so it's the retention, and so do we need to make, we need to make sure we make a mental note to when we have discussions with Lawrence that we, when we update him with the figure of what it'll do to close out, that we still also have retention from the other progress payments.
Mhm.
So that he's aware of it, so they're aware of, you know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
they're aware of what the total is gonna be.
Yes.
Okay. Discussion vote update on the meter replacement.
On that, pretty much, I think Johnny reported on that, I think yesterday, but Neptune is doing their preliminary work that they need to do in order to verify that we can get communication to all the meters in the district. And so they're still working on that. And so
That's the propagating study, is that what it's called?
yes, propagation study. Yeah. So that's where we are on the meter replacement.
Okay,
C, discussion vote on claim 16 and other claims and payouts.
that's Oscar.
Oscar?
Sorry. So for claim 16, we have two invoices. They're both for the deed. One is for the meters and one is for the well. First invoice, and it deals with well 5 cost reconciliation and project correspondence. And that's invoice number 2300517 in the amount of $169.50. And the second invoice is for the meters, the RFI review and project correspondence. And that's invoice number 2300518, and that is $169.50, which brings the grand total of claim 16 to $339.
Make a motion, we go ahead and approve claim 16 in the amount of $339 with the invoice number that Oscar had said.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made by Director Nyman, seconded by Director Garcia. Roll call, directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Aye.
Director Schoenberg, Director Kelling. Aye. Gibson, aye, 500. Discussion vote update on bridge loan requests and payments.
Just like we said, we received the money back from claim 12, and we are making the payment today to repay the bridge loan. So it'll be available for us to borrow again if we need to.
Oh, good, that's good. Okay. Number 11, discussion vote update on pipeline replacement project.
Hey,
A, discussion vote on potholing and mapping. Thanks, Marcia.
Potholing and mapping is done, and the information is being incorporated into the design.
excellent, excellent.
B, discussion vote on engineering and design.
Currently under
Still
construction.
targeting the end of June for preliminary design drawings. I'll have a little bit of an update on that next week, and Matt continues to work on it and prepare those plans and profiles and a fair amount of detail on that. So it's ongoing.
Okay, discussion vote on the project budget.
Potholing and mapping, we came in, we expended the budget. I don't remember what that was now, but we just had so much money that we dedicated to that. And it was,
That,
That was around $289,000.
yeah, but
right over 300.
item, I think actually D is for when we, apply.
Yeah, so I guess the question would be, Dee, when are we looking that we're gonna have like budget numbers and project plans and specs to be able to put in the application?
Targeting budget, we should have that done as soon as the plans are done. So that'll be, and Johnny reviews them, but end of the month, maybe the first couple of weeks of July, we should be able to prepare an engineer's estimate. And then following the plans, we'll prepare the specifications. That'll take probably a couple of weeks. We have a pretty standard set of specs now, so I'm thinking by the end of July, we'll have plans and specifications both for that pipeline replacement project. And then,
So we could look by maybe the end of July to be able to put in the application.
yes, and once we do a budget on the construction costs, we'll find out whether or not we have enough money to do more. And if we do, we'll add a couple of different trails that Johnny's already targeted. If we're over budget, we'll bid it in phases so that we'll be able to deduct, assuming that maybe if our estimate's too conservative, we'll be able to deduct or add, depending on how the bids really come in.
Okay,
Then you have Tom Dotson's estimate in front of you for the environmental for the pipeline.
The environmental, yeah, we did have, Johnny and I had, and Carlos, you were on that phone call too with Tom Dodson. The environmental, Tom sent over and a proposal to do the CEQA exemption at NOE. And that was, he could do that within 30 days, and that's a $3,000 cost. If we want to add the air quality, that determination is around $3,000 additional. And I think Lawrence was, correct me if I'm wrong, Carlos, I think Lawrence was kind of on the fence regarding that. And then the cultural and biological, he was also on the fence, depending on whether or not we have to comply with the federal crosscutters or not. The cultural itself, Tom estimates between 7,000 and 11,000, and the biological 6,000. So we're hoping that we don't have to do that, and we can just do the two that I mentioned. The air
which
quality.
would be what, $6,000, $3,000 for the NOE and then the air quality?
Yes.
Yeah, and the air
Okay.
quality is still up in the air because I'm working on another project where the environmental consultant filled out the environmental construction package, and they stated that since it's just a notice of exemption, that none of the other thing is needed because it would just be zero emissions. But I'm not too sure about that, so I'm gonna reach out to environmental persons at DFA and see if they require that or not. But if it's not required, then that'll save some time and money.
And this is going to be paid through Self-Help Enterprises?
I know that Dee had set up a budget for environmental. I don't know if that's where it's coming out of or not.
That would be what it would come out of, Carlos.
Yeah, so it'd be paid through self-help.
Okay, so we need to approve this letter?
Yeah, yes, Tom's,
Can we do that? Well, it's under, what would we have it under? This is part of the, project application, right?
Yes.
Because we have to have the NOE, filed in order to do the project application, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so then it would fall under that, so we can vote it under that, so, I make a motion.
I think it would fall under
uh,
more environmental work than project application.
Right, but we don't have a category for that right now.
But we have a
so if that's the
category
case,
on-
We can't vote on it.
I mean, we need to vote on it, and that's, has to be done for the,
Well, the thing is that since Self-Help Enterprises is paying for it, and we do have an environmental category, under Dee's proposal. So I don't know if you guys would necessarily need to vote on it or not. You can vote on it, but
okay, well, yeah, so we'll just
We
give,
can just
we'll
give
just
them
give the
an
nod.
okay.
We give the nod to go forward as a board.
yeah, like Dee was
Yeah.
explaining, it's all gonna depend on which funding we get when we
Yeah.
apply for funding, whether we have to do the bio and cultural. Because if we get
Right.
federal funding, then we're gonna have to do the federal crosscutters.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Well,
Discussion vote on project plans and specifications.
we covered that.
This is, yeah,
2 weeks on, July,
Discussion vote on project application.
Which-
and July,
July,
number 12.
number 12.
Well, discussion vote update on Cal OES community.
Okay. So at this point, I think,
Oscar and
Oscar and Carlos can
Bum it
go.
Put it in nice.
Alrighty, you guys have a good night.
Hi, gentlemen.
you.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening.
You too, bye.
Discussion vote update on Cal OES community power resiliency allocation to special districts grant. Discussion vote update on purchase of the generators. They've been purchased, right?
Thanks.
Okay. And then
The final payment.
Yeah.
Can't do the load banks until we do B, the engineering and design, and actually put them in place. Because
Well, we have to get them. before-
Johnny
Okay.
is. Oh, Johnny doesn't want to get them until everything's in place and we're able to test them at the sites.
Right. That's right.
And
Righto.
so I guess we go on to B, so engineering and design.
Yeah,
We've surveyed the sites and we're working on the layouts now. And,
Beautiful.
the only, I think the one that's most challenging is Wolf Tank because it's on a really steep hillside, but, other than that, the rest are pretty straightforward.
And when do we think we'll be laying pads and stuff? Do we have any idea as to?
Pretty much up to Johnny when he wants to do it, probably when, I think, I can't tell you exactly where we are on the plans, but they're pretty simple and I think we're moving ahead pretty fast on those. Jake's doing those. I'll check with that, but a couple weeks, I think, probably end of July, we should be able to start pouring concrete or building walls, depending on the retaining wall. I guess, Jerry, you're gonna wade in on that one a bit.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
number
Um,
13, discussion vote update on district water tank repair and replacement.
Johnny's not here.
A's table, and we
A's,
don't know where
okay,
B
A's
we are
table.
with B.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny's on leave.
So we're gonna discuss parcel B?
No, we didn't, Johnny's not here to do it.
Okay. Does anybody need to take a break? Okay, new business 14, discussion vote on reforming the ad hoc and standing committees.
What's that for?
Oh, thank you, Dee. Enjoy your evening and your weekend.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks from you guys too. And I'm sure we'll be talking next week.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
You too.
You
Right.
too.
Thanks, Steve.
Do I need to repeat it? Discussion vote?
No, so 14 is there because I'm gonna be resigning from my service on this board in a couple of months. I'm gonna wait until we're able to reform things and I'm able to answer some questions and help with whatever people need help with, but I'm planning on sometime between September and December exiting from this board. I haven't put in paperwork yet because I didn't want to put in a date, because I want to make sure that we're okay with the committees and people are able to move in, because right now it wouldn't be good. So what I thought, this is my personal opinion on it, is that the standing committees, that maybe on the first standing committee, that we should try to reform stuff. But this may be a little preliminary, like it may get carried over a couple of times. But my thought is that on the financial standing committee, that the first one in July, the beginning, whenever it is.
The July,
Yeah.
the quarterly?
Yeah, the first quarterly that I should be present.
July 18.
And maybe somebody stand in that's not Becky, that's already on, that already knows how to do it, so that somebody else could learn it as well. And then on the second one, that it would be that maybe we can, I would be no longer on it, and it would be Director Gibson and whoever decided to stand in that on that first one. And then on the project, the same thing. I think that it's a process, so it's like someone probably should stand in on the state update meetings, but maybe not the ad hoc yet, or vice versa. I don't know. I don't want to do it where somebody's just like stuck, not under, if we do it slowly, then hopefully whoever goes into that committee can, catch up, because we're doing it
Staged.
yeah. So, and then this is just my take. Deborah had a little bit different idea on it, but I think that at least one member of the AP committee should be part of the financial committee, because in my personal opinion, shouldn't be both, so that there's a separate set of eyes on it every time. But I think at least one person should be the same on both committees, which is what we were doing originally. And I agree with Deborah. Deborah's kind of saying almost two people, because you have the AP committee, standing committee, and then the financial. But I think, just from having done it for a long time, that if one person has the perspective of both committees, that a lot more to catch the stuff in the audit, in this financial standing committee. So you've already caught 90% of it in the AP committee, you're really familiar with it. And that way, if you see something that's weird, you'll be able to catch it that much faster. Whereas if it's brand new people with their eyes on it, if you didn't spend a lot of time with it in the meetings, you may not catch stuff. So, I could go either way. It could be two brand new people, but if it helps, I think, to have at least one person who has the perspective of both. So that's kind of where that's at. I don't know. We probably need to start talking about it tonight, just so we have an idea, but I don't know if we need Cause once we vote on it, then that person's in place, right? So. Or can we do a projected vote on it where the person goes into place like next month or the
You
month
can
after?
assign a future date.
Okay, so, yeah, my thought is that, oh, go ahead.
I just didn't know that you could have three people on an ad hoc.
No,
Well,
then
you
don't.
three people.
No, she
Two
was
maps.
saying,
I'm stepping away. I'm not gonna be here anymore.
I understand that. But until you
No.
do go away, you
what
would have
she's
three
saying
on.
is, no, what she's saying is that she is gonna be on, like, she's on the financial committee. Becky would stand down for like a month or two. And that person who's gonna be on that committee would do the ad hoc with her for like 2 months. So that they get an idea of what and how it works. And then when she leaves, then that person that stood in, Becky would come back. And that would be that.
Just
that-
because I've been doing it for a long time, because that committee does the budget also, and Becky's been doing it for a while now too, but in case there were questions that Becky couldn't answer, the new person would be able to ask
No,
those
it makes a great deal of
questions.
sense to me.
Yeah, and then, so, because I don't want to like leave you guys hanging, I'm just, anyway.
Well, we
My own-
appreciate all the work that you've done, Lisa. We're sorry to see you go, but
So yeah, my idea is to stick around for a few months so people are kind of comfortable in that role and they go away.
Okay, so is there any more discussion on reforming the ad hoc committees? Do you want to discuss the other committees at this time, or?
Well, I mean, the other committees wouldn't, I mean, so it's basically the ones that need to be,
so AP
Thought
has been
about
changing.
AP is not gonna change. The ones that need to be thought about would be the financial, both ad hoc and standing committee. And then also the project and state up, so the
State update, standing committee and
the
project ad hoc.
So, and if we do some sort of, Jerry's had some experience already on the project ad hoc. So he has, been on that a little
Well,
bit.
and I think that's just gonna be like, that particular one, I think is pretty easy to step in, because that's just whenever we need to have a discussion, that's kind of like, that one is like, oh, okay, we had to do the budget or we had to do the timeline, so that's beyond the state update, so I don't think that that's
You're saying the ad hoc.
the ad hoc, so I don't think that the ad hoc is one that's like you have to do.
No,
I
it's
mean,
more
a
of the,
person
pro- it's
could
more of the
step on.
state update.
But like the
because-
state update, because there's so much going on.
Yeah, and it's interaction with, who's our state guy?
Lawrence,
Yeah. Get interpretations, get,
And in the past, I've written letters and stuff, so it would be somebody would want to be taking that kind of responsibility on too.
okay? So
Okay,
16,
so we're good on that?
Well, I don't know if we're good on it.
So-
Do we need to?
I
get
guess the question-
Somebody in place and have a date of when they're gonna.
so
stand
the
in?
question is, who wants to come on to the standing? Because you're gonna be on it with me, the state update standing committee, so
that means what, once a month or twice?
that's once a month. It's like the third, it's usually the Thursday.
And it's a
in
day,
between-
it's a daytime, so.
It's a daytime
10
at 10 o'clock in the morning.
I might be able to do that one, but I know that I'm gonna have, my hands full with the concrete work. But,
Right.
One day a month, I might be able to do that.
Yeah, it's just hard if it's one person, so you just wanna
Right.
make sure that, because when the few times I had to do it by myself, it's kind of hard to do.
Right.
Yeah, cause we run the meeting.
Right,
And we
right, we
also,
run it and the thing
Have
is
input.
so, the only other thing is that, you know, if for whatever reason you're not able to do it that day, then we can tap into
Yeah.
Terry or Becky, because everyone can be, we've already established alternatives, so.
Okay,
As
yeah,
long
that
as
was,
you let
okay,
them know
cool.
ahead of time, Because it's
If
hard
if you
to.
guys are willing to do something like that, it'd be great.
Yes.
No answer, okay.
Well,
Let's go.
yeah, no, we've all said that we would step into whatever ad hoc or standing committee we needed to step into.
Right, but just my experience so far is that if it's at the last minute, no one steps in and you're doing it by yourself, so. Just.
Well, we didn't have that
more-
policy in place before.
No, we've had it in place for a little bit and it's not worked out so well.
So-
So I'm just saying if you could let people know
So,
ahead.
so
of
is
time.
everybody okay with Jerry coming into the
Yes.
state standing update?
So do we want to do that for the next meeting?
So, yeah, would you like to do the next meeting? I
Yeah,
can,
wanna
let me
wait.
know. Date right now, no, put it in my
Maybe
calendar.
July, the third, the second,
because I
the
mean,
second
Oh.
or third Thursday,
Third Thursday in
the
July.
third Thursday in July.
And you've run it enough, you're familiar enough on that you're fine. You
Yeah.
don't need me in there.
Calendar.
oh,
Uh,
so you want.
she'll be in
you want-
July?
you Want me,
Or do you want
We
me
have
to
one
do
this-
it, Jared?
well, it doesn't matter.
I think you've done it enough.
I've done it enough, yeah.
So you did it this week, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we did it this week already.
And then did you
So
say
it's
it's the
the
third
20th.
Wednesday?
Yeah, it's the 20th, it's the 20th of July.
Oh,
At 10
third
o'clock.
Thursday, okay, 20th.
It's the 20th of July. And that'll.
Perfect, I
and
can
then-
do that one.
Then it'll be the 17th of August,
This is standing committee?
yes.
And we need to make sure that they actually send you well, I guess the invites don't matter if you're gonna come.
The invites, we come in here.
Standing project? committee?
It's the
State meeting.
state update standing committee.
Thank you. Date update, standing committee.
So can we motion?
I make a motion,
Oh, yeah, you can.
I can. I make a motion that, we appoint Gerald Director Garcia to the state update standing committee going forward. And, Lisa can just be an alternative until she leaves. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion's been made by Director Nyman and seconded by Director Kelly. Roll call of directors, Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia,
Stain,
Director Schoenberg,
I'll just abstain, but I think I can vote on it.
Director Kelly,
Aye.
Gibson, I, 302 abstentions.
Yes. Motion passed.
Motion passed. Okay, so are we done with the ad hocs?
Well,
We're gonna do the ad hoc that you two are on.
and then,
Oh, okay,
and so do we want to wait and you continue on the project? Because we don't do project ad hoc that often.
Yeah, probably that's fine. I think I can keep doing that.
So you keep doing that. and then-
Because whoever's, like Jerry's gonna know
Right.
all the stuff that's.
Right,
going
and then
on.
Jerry will end up coming on to that
Yeah.
one, but we don't, we can vote that later. Okay,
Or theoretically, even someone else could be on that. ad
Right,
hoc.
right.
It's probably better if it's Jerry.
yeah,
There's just the financial committee. Ad hoc.
So on that one, just because it's really complicated and we're in the middle of the audit, I would say that whoever comes on might want to do it with me for like maybe 2 months and then step up with Becky. So that it's, because Becky's done it, she knows it, but it might be.
I could not teach it to somebody else at this point. I have to get retaught on it all the time.
so
So
And-
someone,
and-
just
and
someone
just
step up to
My,
that.
my recommendation, you don't have to listen to it, but my recommendation would be, it should be somebody from the, I mean, really, you two are
Right.
the people anyway, but it should be somebody from the AP committee that crosses.
Terry, you wanna,
Yeah, I can,
yeah, so I mean, I think it's good that we have, you know, that we have some, cause I don't want to end up on every, I don't want to end up on there.
No, absolutely.
No,
So I'll make a motion that we appoint Terry to the financial, is it the financial ad hoc or financial standing committee?
no.
No, financial ad hoc. So the financial ad hoc committee, and that she work with Director Schoenberg for 2 months, and then we'll continue on the ad hoc with Director Gibson, going forward after that.
I'll second it.
okay, a motion's been made by Director Nyman and seconded by Director Garcia. Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Abstain.
Director Kelly,
I abstain.
You could say it,
can I vote?
yes,
Aye.
because you're not changing.
Gibson, aye. So it's 3-0 to abstentions.
And then maybe for the standing, because Terry already knows the AP so well, really all the standing, once this audit, maybe I should do the 2 standing committee, but I don't know if for the second one, maybe you do the first one, Becky, and then see if we can just substitute, we probably don't have to vote on it yet, but I think for the standing committee, when's the one that happens after?
Well, we don't even have to vote on it at this point. I mean, you could
Because
just say,
she'll already be on the ad
and
hoc.
you can already say, hey, I'm not coming to it, and
Well,
she can.
Yeah, the next one wouldn't be until October,
Is
December.
July 18th and August 1st. Are
Okay,
the
so by
quarterly-
August 1st, it should be somebody probably else that
Yeah.
looks at the, because by then we should be. I mean, actually, that one is just going over what you guys have already done, because that's actually the 22-23 and then the budget. So, but we'll have worked on the budget some before then,
Right.
so that should be good. And if you're on the AP committee, it should be a breeze, because you're just you're just seeing if there was any things we didn't catch, like what we caught this time, which was assets. You know, stuff that should have been under asset instead of,
Right,
it wasn't tons of stuff. It's getting better, it was
it's much cleaner.
much cleaner than last time, and I think this time, yeah, it's gonna be much cleaner.
Okay,
Okay, we move on to 15. Discussion vote on forming a record retention ad hoc committee.
well, don't we need to,
I pencil a bunch of stuff, but it's not till the next meeting,
right,
so at the next meeting.
Right.
So I'll go over what I would recommend, and then you guys can do whatever.
Just table it.
you're gonna
right,
do.
so I think we should table this until the next meeting, because I think we should go over what you penciled in, and we go over that as a full board, as everybody here, to determine the policy. And then once we got that in place, then we can determine the,
Yeah.
this, ad hoc committee.
Okay, I have, one concern about this ad hoc committee, about the, documents themselves, having been in that other office that is, wet, vermin droppings on it, and, mold, that I'm concerned about actually people carrying it to the office and then it being in the office. And I know I'm probably going overboard, but you know, like when like Serpro or something comes into a house and there's rat droppings and stuff, they come in full gear. Because people that have, immune deficiencies that are, down, or people with, transplants, cancer, it can kill you. And I survived it once, but I have a concern about it. So just to be thinking when we talk about it,
You may
okay?
not need to be doing that at all, but I would highly recommend somebody do it and not just blanket toss out boxes. of
Well, no.
people. But it could be it could be the crew if they know what they're looking for, I
Right.
guess, if they want to suit up or something, no.
Right, or we,
I think
or
they
we,
go in there all-
or if we do the ad hoc, we have our N95 masks and go in there and,
PPEs. And if you're in good health, probably not a problem.
Oh,
I think
I mean,
rat
anything-
droppings, if
Anything
they're
with,
there,
with-
everybody would have,
Yeah.
yeah.
and,
Rat droppings are
and
bad.
may need to be done outdoors. Yeah.
I guess you'd have to
Carried
see
outdoors.
the condition of the boxes. to
well,
see
yeah,
how-
yeah,
it's
that's something we'll have to look at and see how, and like she says, maybe we need to, it'd be an outside thing where we bring them outside and look at them that way.
Okay, but that could be part of
And
the discussion of the
that
next meeting.
will be part of the discussion
Okay.
and we, note your concerns.
Okay, 16, review and approve meeting minutes for 6/21/23 state update meeting.
We can table till next week because
Okay.
the meeting was yesterday.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I didn't see him,
Quick
I
turnout.
was gonna say, I didn't see him in here, so, to go over them, so.
Discussion vote on future agenda items.
I have a question. Does it have to be an agenda item 700 form and official resignation, or I can just do it?
No, I don't think it has to be an official agenda item. You just turn in the letter. And as far as the 700, it's 30 days after leaving office, within 30 days. Not before leaving, 30 days after.
Okay.
Okay, future agenda items? There are none?
Hello.
Lord,
Someone want a motion for adjournment?
I will move that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Okay, a motion's been made by Director Kelly and seconded by Director Nyman. Roll call of directors. Director Nyman,
Aye.
Director Garcia.
Aye.
Director Schoenberg,
Aye.
Director Kelly. Aye. Gibson, aye, 500. This meeting is adjourned at 5:53.
Okay, thank you.
Good job, ladies and gentlemen.
We're not gonna lock that because the guys are still in the field.
Uh,
So, I mean, I'll
And
lock the top lock, but I'm.
I got a call that we're all.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.